Hi, it's Kayla, and today I wanted to talk about the top 5 annoying things about being blind. These are just random, annoying things that people probably wouldn't even think of. These aren't the big ticket items like not being able to drive or how we're treated by society. They're just minor annoyances that kind of just come with the territory of being blind that you can't really do anything about. So let's just jump right in. Number 1 is public bathrooms. Public bathrooms are my arch nemesis. Let me walk you through this. So I've got my cane, my husband walks me up to the door to the bathroom, and then I'm on my own. And every public bathroom is laid out differently. The ones where you walk right in the door and the sinks are directly to the left and the stalls are directly to the right make my life a lot easier. But that's usually not the case. So I walk in and first I have to find where the stalls are. And if it's crowded and there's a line, it makes it 10 times more difficult. I don't know who's in line. I don't know where the line is. I don't know when the line starts and stops. I don't know when it's my turn. And then when it is my turn, I have to find the one open stall. And also if it's crowded, it's really noisy. There's toilets flushing and sinks running and hand dryers going, and I can't hear and I can't see, and I'm just all kinds of disoriented. So once I finally find an open stall, I just have to hope that it's clean because I can't tell if it's clean. I always wipe the seat off, always, as a precaution. And then I have to find the sinks. And also, I hate taking my cane into the bathroom because, ew. So I always have sanitizer wipes in my purse, or I'll squirt hand sanitizer on a paper towel and wipe it off when my cane has been to the bathroom. So I have to find the sinks, and then I have to find the soap, and then I have to find the paper towels, and then I have to find the trash can, and then I have to find the door out. And I can't even tell you how many times that I've dried my hands with a paper towel and just put it in my purse because I couldn't find the trash can or just didn't have the patience to try and find it because I just needed to get out of there. So yeah, I avoid public bathrooms at all costs, and I will use the accessible one if there is one. And I'm not talking about the big stall in the actual bathroom. I'm talking about the one that's separate, that just has one door, one toilet, one sink in there. So oftentimes my husband will kind of poke his head in and say, the sink's to the right and the toilet's to the left, and he'll hold my cane so I don't have to take it in there. And it's so much easier. I've also heard that I get dirty looks when coming out of the accessible bathroom because people have this misconception that accessible means just for wheelchairs, but accessible means for anyone with a disability who needs it. So keep that in mind, and also remember that invisible disabilities do exist, so keep your judgy looks or comments to yourself. Okay, moving on. I know that was long. I'll try to keep the rest of these shorter. Number 2, bugs. I hate bugs, and for one, because they're bugs, and 2, because I can't see them. So if I hear a bug buzzing around, I can't see it to swat at it or run away from it, and I also don't know what kind of bug it is. I don't know if it's a wasp or a mosquito or just a fly. And if I feel a bug crawling on me, I don't know if it's a ladybug or a killer spider, or maybe it's just a fuzz or something and I think it's a bug. I also can't see if there's a spider in my bed or something, so I just always know that they might be lurking, but I don't know where they are or what they are, and it just kind of freaks me out. Number 3, I am a terrible speller. I cannot spell, and I 100% blame that on the fact that I do not or cannot read with my eyes. I don't see words spelled out because I have everything read to me, my computer, my phone reads things to me, or listen to audiobooks. I don't see words spelled out, and that's the only way to know how to spell them. You can't use logic to spell in the English language. It just does not hold up. So for example, I commonly misspell the word speech, S-P-E-E-C-H. I always want to spell it with an E-A because teach is spelled with an E-A, and speak is spelled with an EA, but speech is EE. It doesn't make any sense. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I used to see well enough that I could, read large print. And back then I could spell relatively well. But, after a few years of not reading with your eyes, you kind of forget how those simple words are spelled. It's hard to remember all of them. And of course, you learn new words as you go through life. And so I never know how to spell them. So I'm constantly asking Siri how to spell words, and of course, spell check is my best friend. Also, on a similar note, I use dictation a lot when I'm just, texting or replying to comments, and that sometimes types out what I'm saying incorrectly, and I don't notice because when VoiceOver reads it back to me, it sounds the same. So I often say sighted people, as in people that can see, and it types sided, S-I-D-E-D, which was not what I was trying to say, but when it reads it back, it sounds the same. So I'm always worried about looking stupid because whatever I typed doesn't make any sense to people reading it. So if it's important, like an important email or something, I always make sure I type it out on an actual keyboard. Number 4, constantly running into things or getting hurt. And this is arguably a big ticket item, more than just an annoyance of being blind. It's pretty far up there. But what people don't realize sometimes is that even if we're using a cane or even if we're being careful and walking with our hands out in front of us, you still run into things. So for example, if you're out with a cane, if there's a low hanging branch, your cane's not going to find that. It's going to hit you right in the face. Or those metal railings that are used to make a line in a fast food restaurant or something, your cane will go right underneath it and then you'll run into that railing with your body. And then when you're at your house or someone else's house, because most blind people don't use their cane in their house, we kind of walk around with our hands out in front of us to make sure that we don't run into things, but that doesn't always work either. So if you don't realize that you're kind of walking at an angle, you may hit something on the side, or if a door is left halfway open and you've got your arms out, sometimes that door will go right in between your two arms and you'll just hit it with your face. Or things that are really low to the ground, like my other arch nemesis, coffee tables. If you've got your hands out in front of you and the coffee table is at shin level, your hands aren't going to find it. Have you ever ran straight into a solid wood coffee table with your shin? It hurts really bad. And even if you know it's there, it's still hard to navigate around it unless you squat down and walk with your hands out in front of you, squatted down like a gorilla or something. So yeah, even if you're being careful, even if you're using your cane, there are still injuries lurking around every corner. Number 5, I use my hands as my eyes, which is fine most of the time, but sometimes I just don't really want to touch what I need to see. This mostly applies to food, so if I'm cooking, I use my hands to make sure that my measuring cup is filled up all the way, or to make sure something's evenly mixed or evenly spread. And sometimes I just don't want to put my hands in it. Sometimes I would like to be able to make a sandwich without getting mayonnaise all over my fingers because I was trying to check if it was spread evenly. Or if I'm cleaning something up, if I've spilled something, the only way to know where it is or to know if I got it all is to touch it. And sometimes I just don't want to put my hands in it. And I have a bonus one, which is definitely something that's annoying, but I would consider it less of an annoyance and more of an accessibility issue, which is apps or websites that are not compatible with screen readers. For the most part, blind people can access any information that we want to. We can use technology, we can use the internet, but in order for apps and websites and online documents to be read to us by our phones and computers, they have to be coded in a certain way, which isn't hard, but some people or companies just don't do it. So then we can't access it because it won't read them, or it just sits there and says button, 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 which is kind of infuriating. But like I said, that's more of an accessibility issue. It doesn't have to be an annoyance. It could be fixed if people made their apps and websites and online documents correctly so that we could access them. Although I guess I will say that sometimes using VoiceOver or a screen reader is an annoyance in itself because sometimes you just want it to shut up. You're getting all of your information auditorily through this electronic sounding voice, and it's constant. And I don't know about you, but I can only listen to Siri talk nonstop for so long before it just drives me crazy. Okay, so that's my top 5 or 6 annoying things about being blind. Let me know in the comments what your top annoyances are. And that's about it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will see you guys next time.